Welcome all. Today we will look into the frictional forces, and actually whenever one of the blocks move or tends to move tangentially with respect to the surface on which it rests, the interlocking property of the projecting particles opposes the motion. This opposing force, which acts in the opposite direction of the movement of the block, is called the force of friction, or simply friction. And we can see that one object is like this and another one is sliding over that particular body. Here the first body is at rest and another body is moving over this the surface of first object. Then the projecting particles at the surface opposes the motion of the body 2. That opposing force is known as friction. And there are two types of friction. One is static friction and another one is dynamic friction. Static friction. Static friction is the friction experienced by a body when the body is at rest. Or in other words, it is the friction when the body tends to move. Whereas the dynamic friction, the friction experienced by a body when it is in motion. There are two types of dynamic friction. First one, sliding friction, and another one is rolling friction. Sliding friction and then rolling friction. The sliding friction is the friction experienced by a body when it slides over another body. Whereas the rolling friction, it is the friction experienced by a body when it rolls over another body. There are two types of dynamic friction. A dynamic friction actually is a friction experienced by an object or a body when it is in motion, or it is also called kinetic friction. Dynamic friction is otherwise known as kinetic friction. And when we looking at this particular figure, we can see that there is an inclined surface, and that inclined surface is inclined alpha degree with horizontal direction, and there resting another body having a weight W. This body is at rest, and when this angle alpha is increasing or gradually increased till the body just starts sliding down the plane, this angle of inclined plane at which a body just begins to slide down the plane is called the angle of friction. That means that limiting condition of this angle of this inclined surface, that limiting condition is known as the angle of friction. That alpha will become phi at that particular case, where phi is the angle of friction. Then the body is in equilibrium under the action of mainly three forces. First one, this weight, self weight. Then another one, the normal reaction from the surface, normal reaction. And another one is frictional resistance between these two contact surfaces. And this is all about the angle of friction. Then coefficient of friction, actually it is the ratio of limiting friction to the normal reaction. Then that coefficient of friction mu is equal to limiting friction F by R. F by R means that normal reaction. And this mu is equal to F by R. Then we can say that from this here we can take R as this side and F as F as this base side and W acting vertically downwards, then we can see that this angle is equal to alpha, because whenever this angle is equal to alpha, this given angle is equal to alpha, we can see that this angle is equal to 90 degree. That means vertical weight acts always in the vertically downward direction. Then this angle is equal to alpha. This angle is equal to 90 degree. Then this angle will become 90 minus alpha. 90 minus alpha. And we can see another triangle like this. Another triangle like this, where this angle is equal to 90 degree. Where this angle is equal to 90 degree. That means angle between this normal reaction and this inclined surface is equal to 90 degree. Then if this angle is equal to, we can calculate this angle also. This angle is equal to, from this right angle triangle, we can say that this must be equal to 90 minus alpha. 90 minus alpha. And we can select another triangle like this. Another triangle like this. Then if this angle is equal to 90 minus alpha, this angle is equal to 90 degree, then we can say that this complete angle is equal to alpha. Or the combination of 90 minus alpha and alpha will become this 90 degree. Then we can say that this angle is equal to alpha, and alpha is the angle between this normal reaction and vertical direction. That means this angle is equal to alpha. Then from this particular triangle or this force polygon, we can say that tan alpha is equal to opposite side by adjacent side. Opposite side is equal to frictional resistance R, and adjacent side is equal to R. Then we can say that F is equal to tan phi, where alpha is equal to phi in the case of the angle of friction. Then we can say that mu is equal to tan phi whenever that friction is limiting friction. Whenever that friction is limiting friction, alpha is equal to phi. Alpha is equal to phi. Okay, then laws of friction. There are two types of laws of friction. First one is laws of static friction, and another one is laws of dynamic friction. Here there are 5 types of static friction laws. First one, we can easily understand that the force of friction always acts in a direction opposite to that in which the body tends to move if the force of friction would have been absent. The force of friction always acts in a direction opposite to that in which the body tends to move. The force of friction always acts in a direction opposite to that in which the body tends to move. That is the first law. And the second law, the magnitude of the force of friction exactly equal to the force which tends to move the body when the body is at rest. We can say that if a body is resting on this particular surface, and while we are applying an external force P which will tends to move this particular body, and whenever this body is in rest, that external force must be equal to the frictional force developed in between these contact surfaces. That is the second law. Then the third law, the magnitude of limiting friction bears a constant ratio to the normal reaction. That means F by R is equal to a constant. F by R is equal to a constant. That is the third law. Then fourth law, the force of friction is independent of the area of contact between two surfaces. Actually, force of friction is dependent upon R, normal reaction, and this constant. That constant is otherwise known as mu. That's equal to tan phi. Then that force of friction is directly dependent upon normal reaction and this angle of friction. Finally, the force of friction depends upon the roughness of the surface. The roughness of the surfaces. That's the most important one. Then laws of kinetic or dynamic friction. Here again the force of friction is always acts in a direction opposite to that in which the body turns to moving, as in the case of first laws of static friction. The magnitude of kinetic friction bears a constant ratio to the normal reaction between the two surfaces, but this ratio is slightly less than that in the case of limiting friction. Actually there is a constant ratio between that kinetic friction and a normal reaction, but that ratio is slightly less than that of the case of limiting friction. And in the third case, for moderate speeds the force of friction remains constant, but it decreases slightly with the increase of speed. These are the three laws of kinetic or dynamic friction. Finally, we can solve one problem. Here a body of weight 300 Newton is lying on a rough horizontal plane having a coefficient of friction 0.3. Find the magnitude of the force which can move the body while acting at an angle of 20 degree with the horizontal, and we have given this figure also. Here we can see that one object is resting on a horizontal surface and one external force is applied to move this particular body, which is inclined 25 degree. That force is inclined 25 degree with the horizontal direction. Then we have to find out this required force P. We can say that there must be a normal reaction from this surface. The surface is already horizontal. That means that normal reaction must be vertically upward. And as in the case of all the forces, all the weight, we can say that a vertical force, that a weight of the body is always vertically downward, and we can represent that frictional resistance like this. Then while resolving the forces in horizontal direction, we can say that a P cos alpha, P cos 25 degrees in a positive x direction, and F is equal to mu r in a negative x direction. That means F is equal to, that frictional force is equal to P cos 25. Equation number 1. Then we can resolve this force system in a vertical direction also. Then we can say that vertically upward forces, normal reaction R and P sine 25 degree, both are in upward direction, and that must be equal to the total forces in the downward direction. Here the only force in the downward direction is 300 Newton. Then we can say that R plus P sine 25 degree is equal to 300 Newton. We have already discussed this the resolving of various forces in the first module. Then R is equal to this 300 Newton, or weight minus P sine 25 degree. Then we have this equation number 2. R is equal to 300 minus P into sine 25 degree. Then we can apply, or we can substitute R in first equation, or we can substitute this equation number 2 in equation number 1. Then that F is equal to mu into R. Then the equation will become like this, and we can easily find out P, the magnitude of P, because the value of mu is already given, and we can easily find out P, that P is equal to 87.1 Newton. We can discuss one or two problems in the next class. Thank you all.